Best berries to grow in containers. Containers are the perfect choice for growing berries. Containers can be placed on your patio or balcony and provide fresh fruit that is ripe when it's time for harvesting. Below are various types of berries that do well when grown in containers. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we will be taking a look at 10 of the best berries to grow in containers. Before I continue, can you do me a favor and tap that like button? It really helps the channel out. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. Strawberries. Strawberries are among the best berries to grow in containers. They are well known for their beautiful flowers and delicious fruits. They're also versatile, growing well in containers spread out on the ground or hanging baskets. However, before you plant them, there are some things to consider. Some strawberries are perennial plants that will come back year after year, but other varieties need to be replaced every season. Also, while it's possible to grow strawberries in containers without any additional fertilizer, they'll do much better if the soil has a little boost at first. Strawberries should always have plenty of water when growing in pots because their shallow roots don't reach out very far into the earth. Blackberries. This fruit is a great choice for growing in containers because it can be grown on trellises, making the plant easier to manage. Blackberries grow on canes that are not too high, so they do well in small spaces. A container for this plant should provide at least 3 square feet of growing space, and it is best to use clay pots because plastic ones tend to dry out quickly when water doesn't penetrate through fast enough. Blackberries like full sun exposure but also thrive on partial shade during the hottest part of the day. They prefer moist soil with good drainage. Otherwise, mildew might cause problems later on in fruit production if moisture becomes trapped around the roots. When growing blackberries, make sure you add composted manure into containers before adding the potting soil. This will help the plant thrive and produce more berries throughout the growing season. Blackberries are a great choice for container planting because they do well in small spaces while also providing plenty of fruit during their fruiting season. Acai berries. Acai berries are small berries that grow on acai palms and can be used in various ways, including juice and smoothies. Not only do they taste great, but the health benefits are astounding. Acai palms only take up a small amount of room and once they're planted will produce fruits. They prefer full sun exposure, well-drained soil with high organic matter and regular water. It is not recommended to plant acai berries in soil with poor drainage because they are susceptible to root rot. Acai berries can be grown in containers, which makes it easy for anyone with limited space. Containers allow for easy access to water, nutrients, and are much easier to care for. Be sure the container you use has good drainage holes at the bottom, so that excess water can drain out easily. Cranberries. Cranberries are native to North America. They are a great fruit for container gardening as they don't require much space. Cranberries grow best in acidic soil, so be sure to add plenty of organic matter when you plant. Cranberries should start producing fruit within 2 years and continue for up to 10 years with the right care. Cranberries should be watered well and then allowed to dry out slightly before watering again. They don't require any mulch around them, but they need 1 inch of water weekly during the growing season, so their container must have good drainage. Cranberries do best in full sun but will tolerate partial shade as long as the soil doesn't dry out too much. The plants need to be fertilized once or twice during their growing season with a fertilizer made for acid-loving plants. Blackcurrant. Blackcurrant berries are great to grow in containers as they don't need a large amount of space. They're also very easy to look after, making them the perfect berry for beginners or those with little time on their hands. Blackcurrants like full sun and well-drained soil, so make sure you choose a pot that has these qualities. They're also deciduous plants, so they'll lose their leaves in autumn and regrow them again the following spring. Raspberries. Raspberries are an excellent berry for container growing. They're relatively small bushes that grow well in large containers, making them great if you don't have much room or want to bring your plants inside during the winter seasons. Raspberry plant requires full sun and rich soil, although they can be grown in poor soils. The best time of year to plant them is in the early spring. If you live in a warm climate area, you could plant in late fall or winter to get your seeds started. Raspberries are also relatively easy to maintain because they need minimal pruning and have few diseases or pests which cause problems for them. In general, raspberries do not require a lot of water, so you don't have to worry about overwatering your plant. Boysenberries. Boysenberries are an adaptable plant that can be grown in containers, raised beds, or even on slopes. The fruit of the boysenberry is soft and juicy, with a sweet to tart flavor depending upon its stage of ripeness. The plants need full sun exposure for a maximum fruit production, but can be grown in partial shade. A little afternoon shade is beneficial in hotter climates. The plants are self-pollinating, but will produce even more fruit if two different varieties are planted nearby. The boysenberry plant can grow up to 15 feet tall and wide, so it should be given at least a 4-foot by 4-foot space when planting or growing in containers. It also has a deep taproot and needs a well-draining soil mix. The container should be at least 20 inches in diameter to allow for the plant's growth without overcrowding it. The boysenberry doesn't need much water, but does require regular watering while the fruit is forming during the summer months, or production will stop. It also requires fertilizer twice each year. Gooseberries. Gooseberries are a type of berry that grows in clusters on bushes. They're easy to grow and can be grown in containers, making them a great choice if you live in an area where it's difficult to garden. Gooseberries don't require much maintenance, and they can produce fruit in as little as 2 years. Gooseberry bushes grow between 4 feet tall and 6 feet tall. The bushes are easy to grow in full sun or partial shade, but it's best if you get at least 8 hours of sunlight each day. They need rich, well-draining soil, and the soil pH should be between 6 to 7. You can plant gooseberry bushes as early as late winter or mid-spring. Blueberry. Blueberries are great fruits to grow in containers. Like with most container berries, they need to be planted in a larger size pot. You need to choose the right pot when growing blueberries, not too big and not too small either. However, they are best when the container is only half full, since it gives room for better drainage when planting. Make sure to use good quality potting soil in your containers with blueberries, as this will give them enough nutrients throughout their lifetime and allow you not to have to fertilize so often. Also, make sure that there is adequate spacing between plants to give them room to grow. You can also add manure, composted leaves, or garden soil at the bottom of your container before planting blueberries in it. This will help with drainage and make sure they're well rooted. You should also water regularly, but avoid drowning them. Blueberries are great because not only can they be planted in containers, but you have the option to grow them indoors too, and even as house plants. They'll provide beautiful flowers and berries for your home, which makes them a worthwhile investment. However, make sure that there is good ventilation, or else fungus might set in and kill your plant. Mulberries. Mulberries are a wonderful addition to any yard and make great container plants. Growing mulberries in a pot is similar to growing bush fruits like blackberry or raspberry. You will need at least 3 feet of space for each plant you grow. They must be kept watered but not soggy, and mulch should be added around the roots every spring. They do best in full sun, but will tolerate some partial shade. Mulberries are self-pollinating, which means you can plant multiple plants in the same container. They're also a favorite of birds and other animals, so you may want to plant them in a place where they can be enjoyed from inside the house. Finishing up, berries are great plants to grow in containers. They look beautiful and they produce delicious fruit too. Berry bushes are also perfect for adding color to patios or decks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to pat the like button and subscribe. Also, let me know if there are topics you're wanting me to cover. And always remember that life is better when you garden.